Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Subdivision, an N-scale inspired HO layout. My name is Daryl Kruse, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 11 of season 2021. Yes, we do have trains running on the Evanston Sub. As you can see right before your eyes, we do have trains running. They don't go very far just yet, but it's super exciting to actually see trains moving on the layout after all these months of planning and preparation and initial construction and everything that's gone together. It was just wonderful to see something happening in the way of train movement. And in this episode, you'll see all the work that took place in the last week to get to this point of having some trains running. Quickly though, first, a couple of things have been added to my website for N-scalers. If you're looking to pick up items from the old Geneva subdivision, I added some TrainWorks vehicles, and we'll be adding more. Also some buildings. You saw the railroad park there, which is scratch built, another scratch built house. But a lot of structures have been added, along with some crossing signals and just a bunch of different things. I'm going to continue to add things as we go along. But as you can see, we do have the east staging yard moved into position under the stairs and connected to the west staging yard. So that's a major accomplishment. You can see I also have the tracks all laid in the east staging yard, and I put the backdrop up there to hide the furnace, plus some fascia there to protect the trains from falling off. And then to connect the east staging yard to the west staging yard, I had to screw it into place. I used a 1x2. Screwed it in place on the west staging yard, and then I used that. I kind of basically just pushed up the east staging yard to where it hit that 1x2, and then I knew that it was level. And I saw, by the way, when I was starting to do this, that I put cross braces. I was not going to crawl underneath all that, so I removed the cross braces and used the office chair to slide into position. And it took 2 tries. But I did get things perfectly level. You see all the tracks line up except for track 3 from the right. Right there, that's off a little bit. I did go back and was able to reach that and fix that so that it did line up. It took 2 tries because the first try I put the screws in at an angle, which messed everything up. Second try, it was level and it worked out perfectly. I have the DCC equipment installed. There you have a Digitrax DCS 210 Plus. Plus just means that it has a USB port. And then a Meanwell 15 volt 10 amp power supply. A Digitrax PM42 power manager. That has 4 power districts for the yard. And then I have a UR93, which is duplex wireless, and then UR91, which is simplex wireless. So no matter which type of wireless throttle you have, you can do wireless on the layout. I mounted those lower because I want to avoid the steel beams, so I didn't put it at the top of the ceiling. Wireless does not go through metal very well. And this is my attempt to bundle wires. As you can see, I'm not a professional electrician as far as getting everything bundled and routed nice and neatly. It's not too bad. It's definitely functional. This is what it's supposed to look like when you do wiring. Everything's bundled and in place and color-coded. This is what mine looks like. Not quite the same, but it is organized and it is kind of orderly. The 2 main black wires there are the common for the 2 power districts on this side, and then all the other wires are detection wiring for each detection section. There's 12 of them, and actually 16 altogether, but 12 for the 12 tracks. There you have a BDL 168 from Digitrax that does the detection for the 12 tracks. So everything's in place and attached. It just doesn't look as pretty as what some of the other ones do. This is how I do the wiring. This is a chair I've had for like 20 years. It works great, leans back pretty well, and I'm able to get under the layout and do the wiring. Here you can see me pretending to solder. This layout is lower than my normal ones. It's 45 inches there. I'm usually at about over 50 inches. I also connected the BDL 16 to the Green River, or the east staging yard there. You can see one light was on for the Athearn locomotives that were on the track. And then this is going to be the west staging yard. Of course, they connect to each other and form one big staging yard. So this is 45 inches, but as it goes around the basement, it will get over 50 inches, so I'll be pretty good the other way. Anyway, a momentous occasion here. We have the first attempt to run trains on the Evanston Subdivision. So I'm all ready to go. I have these two MU'd together. These are two Athearn units. I have my coffee to get myself ready. And let's dial it up and see how it works. Oops. Alright, so the layout works perfectly. The person doing the MUing, not so good. So I got them MU together, but got them going in the wrong direction. Alright, here we'll have them struggle against each other. Was able to get them coupled together. And the sound works. Here's the bell and the horn. Just got to get them MU'd. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, here's some of the equipment that I put on the track. Since I have the east staging yard moved into position and securely attached, I can now start adding equipment. This won't be moved again until we need to do some work on the furnace, which hopefully won't happen. It'd have to be something where the furnace needs to be replaced. So I have a feeling that my furnace's lifetime is going to be longer than my lifetime, so I'm not going to have to worry about it. But I can if I have to. So anyway, here's some of the equipment. You see some scale trains, crude oil tank cars. There's a long runner, flat cars with trailers. Here we have some intermountain covered hoppers, scale trains, auto racks, some Rapido Husky stacks there. These are some Athearn 20,000 gallon tankers that I got, and I cannot figure out why they painted it in this glossy black. If that's what they did for this particular model, or if the factory just blew it by using the wrong paint and Athearn didn't want to send them back. I don't know. The other road names are fine. It's just the UTLX. Here's some Kato Maxi 5s with Athearn containers. That was Athearn covered hopper. There you have the two Athearn Gevos, which have been properly MU'd together. And then here we have some 30,000 gallon tankers from Athearn. Now here you have the black as painted with a more of a matte finish. If somebody knows why Athearn did that in a glossy finish, I would like to know. I'm really curious about that. These are nice cars though. Here you go, Walthers 5-unit 40-foot cars. I don't know what they're called. I think they may be Gunderson. I don't think they're one of the Maxis. The stirrup detail is pretty good. The walkways are a little thick. There they have Walthers 40-foot containers in there, and here's some Walthers covered hoppers and box cars. I'm trying to make sure every car I get has the yellow safety markers on them. That's one thing that I want to be consistent on my railroad, since that is mandatory. I also added some more track to the west staging yard. I did put in 4 tracks, track 4, 5, 6, and 7. And as I said, there's 4 power districts, so there's 2, they're double gapped between the east and the west staging yard. So these are 2 pieces of sectional track, so it's rigid, and I just have them spiked down. Here you can see I fixed track 3, so that's definitely lines up a lot better. So basically how this works is I have a 9-inch piece of sectional track and then a 6-inch piece of sectional track. And those are spiked down permanently with a gap in between. So if I do need to move the east staging yard out, I just remove those 9-inch sectional tracks and we'll be able to do so. I also added a backdrop here. And this week, hopefully, I'll put in the rest of these tracks and get it hooked up with a BDL 168 detection, and maybe even put in some turnouts. There you see the scale train GEVOs. I'll also put in a fascia once I get all the tracks in there to stop the cars from falling to the ground. Here you have some of the fast tracks turnouts I built, and then here we have the first modeled portion of the layout. Did some more work on this benchwork. Have the roadbed in, and then this would be the town of Morgan. This is a 60-inch curve. That's going to look awesome as the first curve coming out of the staging yard. I'm really looking forward to watching trains run on there. I did some research on Google Maps, actually Google Earth, to make sure that the roadbed was the right width and everything. I'm using flex bed roadbed. It's called flex bed with 2 X's. It's by Hobby Innovations, and it's 3/8 of an inch thick, which I wanted so that we would have a nice class 1 mainline profile. The ballast though will not be that sharp incline, but will go all the way to the edge there. And the main line here is only 15 feet, so it comes out to about 2 inches. And here you can see the transition from the staging yard to the modeled portion, and from no roadbed to the 3/8 inch roadbed. I like this roadbed also because we'll be able to show the contours between the tracks. Here's the underpass in Morgan, Utah, that will be modeled in that first underpass right there. And then the road will go in both directions at about a 10% incline. So that should be pretty cool. It's been a real adjustment going from N scale to HO. These roadbeds, and seem like this is way too wide. But I measured everything with Google Maps to make sure it came out right. This is going to be Morgan, Utah. Here's a picture of Morgan, Utah, right by the tracks. There's just a street that goes along there with a bunch of old buildings and shops. There's a small station that'll be cool to model, and that will all go right here. The backdrop will go along the curve of the wood here, so you won't see the corner there, and we'll need to still add some more plywood here because there's going to be a road that's going to continue, and will be another underpass right here. So in Morgan there's 2 underpasses on both sides of town. So both of those will be modeled. And here we have a bunch of micro-engineering track ready to go. I got 20 bundles of 6. That's 120 pieces of track, 360 feet. So that should keep me busy for a while. I'm hoping to extend the bench work to here this week. Hopefully we'll get that done. And then I also want to get these rest of the tracks here in, and the maybe some of these turnouts installed, and then get trains running on the main line. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that happen. All right, so here's a chance to see the trains, the first train running. You saw a little bit of this at the beginning of the video. Here we'll see the complete run from one end of the existing staging to the other end. So here you have a couple of scale train ET44AH locomotives pulling a string of Walthers boxcars, and I think there's a couple of covered hoppers also. Got these Tier 4 GEVOs. That's what the ET44AHs are. Got them about a month ago and really like them. Got some cool lights there. The light under the truck is really cool. The one on the steps there is a little bright. I have to see if I can tone that down a little bit. But they got great detail, run extremely smooth, and they weigh a ton. They're beast as far as pulling power goes. Definitely way beyond what the Athearn units are of the same size. I'm not sure what kind of special metal they use, but they weigh a lot. And then you have the Walthers cars. All right, here's the key point here, going from one to the other. See if you can see any unusual motion or movement of the locomotives and cars as they go from one to the other. I can't see any. It looks perfect to me. So I don't think we're going to have any trouble with derailments. Not derailments, but uncouplings is the big thing that might happen. As you can see, these are very nice looking locomotives. I like both the scale trains and the Athearn. Right now, I kind of like the scale trains. They look better and run, so much smooth. So smooth. It's just really nice to watch. The Athearns run really nice also, and they look great too. Scale train's just a little bit notch ahead, I think. The Athearn, though, does have this dynamic exhaust, which I'm looking forward to, which has it, the exhaust change according to the load. That could be interesting. And here we come to the end of the track and the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for next week, where there'll be another one. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.